at how market breadth is improving in some sectors. Is that real?
Well, you know, it's interesting, Romaine. So earlier today on Bloomberg Radio, I was on the other side of the interview, and I was told how some strategists think that the fundamentals simply don't match this rally, that the rally is technically driven. And maybe if it was like just a couple of weeks, you could make that case. But at this point, we're looking at something off of the highs. And so, yes, the breadth is starting to improve, and that will support some of the growth and momentum type sectors. Let's bring Christian Fromhertz of Tribeca Trade Group into this conversation. And it's interesting, Christian, these different perspectives on fundamentals. But when the breadth and the internals start to back up, a multi-month rally, at that point you start to think that maybe the fundamentals aren't so bad. And we're seeing some of that, not so much in the trading action today with the declines, but year to date certainly with a gain.
Yeah, great to be here, Abigail. So I mean, that's one of the things that's been really confirming this price action that we've seen, basically since the beginning of the year, is we've seen this really strong breadth and more advancing versus declining issues. And you can see that in either an advanced decline line, or you could see that with the McClellan Summation Index. However, what's been interesting is the change that we've seen since basically the start of the month, the start of February. We've been seeing breadth kind of decline a little bit, and it's starting to resemble some of the other breadth moves up that we've seen in 2022. So I think what we're really going to want to watch and pay attention to is whether that can kind of hold in here, through the next week, next 2 weeks, to see if breadth can actually stabilize and improve, rather than kind of switch and go back to the downside, very reminiscent of what we saw last year.
Okay, so to Romaine's point, and that of the many strategists out there who are questioning whether or not the fundamentals are strong enough, this is still a watch and see type of situation. But speaking of watching and seeing, the chips, which had a really rough year last year, down more than 35%, this year really bouncing back. You like this space?
Well, yeah, and here's where it gets interesting. I mean, exactly, the chips just were not there last year, and so far they're actually starting to show some leadership, and we started to see this with some of the smaller cap names like ALCS, AEHR, and then a new one that's been really strong is ALGM. But not only that, now we've seen some names report earnings, and even though they haven't been reporting great earnings, back to your fundamentals, the price action has been pretty awesome. NXPI, Skyworks, AMD, Microchip, those names have all rallied really decently after the earnings that, may begin to tell us that maybe the worst is in for this area of the market.
And I know that you've certainly seen some bullish flow on the tape in terms of some of the chip names. If you could take us through it very, very quickly.
Yeah, we've seen names like NVIDIA has, just earlier today saw about a $1.8 million trade. That was the March 270 calls for 425. And then Microchip a little bit further out, MCHP, those are the January 110 calls that went up for about $4.50, which is about $300,000 in premium. So both of those trades not bad, and a little bit of positioning, bullish positioning that we didn't really see too much last year. That trade specifically I like to express a possible breakout in MCHP going into next year.
Great perspective as always. Christian Fromhertz, founder of Tribeca Trade Group. Thanks so much for joining us for Options Insight today. And from New York, this is Bloomberg.